holy shit, I've just been matched with a tentacle monster. And realistically, she brought this on herself. I'm gonna get you pregnant by knocking your womb open gently and laying my eggs in there.
Die.
Sir.
You were just covered in my cum, and now you can't be in the same room as me?
Yeah, chop them all off, toss them into the pan, and oil it up so we can chomp on some good fried drumsticks.
I want to know how old he is.
But she doesn't know that it's his cock.
How are you?
I am fine. You know, I'm here. I didn't get as much accomplished today as I wanted to, but you know what? That's fine. So
I got a lot accomplished today, actually.
I'm so glad. I'm fucking happy for you. Because
I
I certainly didn't. This week, we read Sweet Tentacles
Yes, we did.
by Mayfly, which is actually a funny, hysterical name every time I think about it.
Mayfly, don't bother me.
Yeah. And yes, though the tentacles did not do what I wanted them to do fully, it's okay.
No. I was
I
trying
know.
to, yeah.
I am aware.
Well, good thing we get a do-over.
Do you know how hard it is to find that other fucking category? I'm trying so goddamn hard.
It took me months and months to find the categories for your stuff. It took me forever. It took so long to research each one. And I'm going to be so mad if they don't hit the right spots.
Well,
but that do-overs,
hopefully the do-over does hit the right spots. There's a joke in there somewhere. Anyways.
Literally.
So, yes, Sweet Tentacles. It's a sci-fi, alien, monster, mail order, bride romance. Now, I was assuming just regular mail order. I didn't realize that she was being sneaky, sneaky little Tessa. So, Tessa's our FMC. And Tessa is currently standing outside of the mating agency, asking herself if she really is doing this. But unfortunately, the answer is yes, because she has no choice. The mating agency basically sets people up with mates on other planets, kind of thing. They run you through a system. It's a mail order bride kind of thing. And she's using it for a reason she has not shared yet. But she specifically wants to go to a very, very particular planet. So she wants to be in the, oh God, pronouncing these names, by the way, terrible. Yuxic 4 mating program. So Yuxic 4 is a planet. Just know from here on out, I'm pretty sure I just refer to it as the planet.
The Yukes. the planet.
But so she signed up for them. And Hirin is in disbelief because fucking nobody ever wants to apply for this planet. Basically, the beings that live on that planet, because I don't feel like trying to pronounce what their names are basically the villains.
I thought about that for 50% of the time I was reading. I was like, Crystal is trying to say this. Now
Crystal's
she's not.
They are basically the villains of the century. They used to force planets into hosting them and then go to war, and they are known as a conquering species. They have 12 tentacles where their arms and legs should be. They can adjust
to business.
They
to
can
defeat the galaxy. I'm done.
No, you're not. They can adjust temperature, moisture, rigidness. They can turn their tentacles into blades and fucking cut people's heads off. But that is not the scariest part, though. I feel that should be the scariest part. The biggest advantage that they have is their ability to regenerate instantly. But the Federation found a way to remove them from the battlefields. With poison, by the way, and they just started killing them off. They did eventually surrender and sign a treaty that forced total reform because it was either assimilate or get annihilated, and so they chose assimilation.
Gas the whole planet,
right? So that whole thing happened, and then they got this little thing implanted into their head that controls certain things. We learn that later on. Don't worry about it. I will bring it back.
Well, we kind of learn it a little bit here.
A little bit, yeah. They get more into it a little further on, and honestly, a wild thing to implant into these people. But okay, I get it
Girl,
at the beginning,
eh,
but
I
okay.
have. Hmm. Hmm.
No, I have thoughts.
What
I
a
have
wild ride you took us on this week, Crystal.
honestly
What a wild
though,
ride.
I actually thoroughly enjoyed this ride. I just really didn't like Tessa.
I had certain problems, and
What
I
else is
wish
new?
nothing's changed. And I just wish that it was just a little different.
Well, it wasn't. It was the way it was. So,
It was what it was.
yeah. So the man, he's trying to explain, like, nobody wants to go there, like, at all. They are,
Are
like,
you
the deadly,
sure? I
the
don't think
deadliest.
you're sure.
And he's like, not even the Drellis want to go there, and they are deadlier than them. They're basically spider people. Okay.
The
Drellis
Drellis don't want to go there because the other dudes are
Oh.
deadlier.
Gotcha. My brain went,
Because those are the only dudes that are basically deadlier than the Trellis
that's
dudes.
true. And the
Yeah.
Drellis dudes are spiders.
Right. The Trellis dudes are basically like the bad bitches of the world now that the other dudes are relegated to their planet.
And lobotomized.
Basically. Yeah.
Basically. So that really sets her off because, like, why the fuck did he have to
what
mention,
a concept.
right? Why did he have to mention the Drellis? But she says, listen, I understand, but like that was like many decades ago. You know, the war criminals have all died out, and obviously, like their crime rate has gotten lower. They qualified for this program, so there has to be a reasoning. So, like, technically, she can go. He does eventually cave in, and it's so funny
But it's
because
weird. He,
she's
like,
trying
totally
so hard.
gaslights her.
Well, because nobody in a single year of them having this program has ever fucking chosen this goddamn planet because of the whole history and stuff. And this one woman is like, nah, bro, I want to go there actually. Like, that sounds fucking great. He reiterates the female participants, they're very, very like focused on their safety. So, I mean, realistically, she's going to be fine,
Is she?
but she's still trying to convince this man.
I mean,
But she gets
shit could happen.
shit could happen,
Just saying.
but
They're not going to be there every second.
well, who cares?
Clearly not her or him.
Well, she has a lot going on, okay? She does enter into the program and she just has to fill out paperwork, and he gets really, really shocked when she gets mated with someone immediately. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he fucking goes, "Well, his profile picture's kind of cute." She does not find him cute, by the way, because she thinks he looks more nightmarish because he's literally fucking an octopus.
We need to draw. Hold on. Please hold. Where's
Oh, you're
our
gonna draw this time instead of me? Sounds fantastic.
I don't think I have a thingy. A white erase.
I don't know. All I know is that
It
he
happened.
is an octopus with like
Oh,
dead
I need to
eyes,
draw.
and we're just gonna use our imagination.
I'm gonna use a Sharpie.
That
I'm
I mean,
gonna
that's
regret
close
it
enough
later.
because he is inky black. So
I'm gonna regret this later
you are, but you know, here we are. Whatever.
because I purposefully like laminated this to have a little whiteboard for us.
Well, then why the fuck are you drawing on it?
Because I'm too lazy to go try to find a white erase marker.
Don't you have a child?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna say yes. Please hold. Keep talking while you're holding.
I'm breathing because, girl.
And I still forgot to get tax.
Okay. Good Lord. Anyways, so she's trying to think, what the fuck has she
If
even
hot
gotten?
mess was a definition.
Literally right now to you every day. She's trying to think of what she has even gotten herself into. Whatever she told this man, by the way, she knows she lied. So she goes, yeah, sure. He's cute. And they go over the program. So basically she has a 1-month trial of this marriage thingy, and she can decide whether she's going to stay and she'll receive money. But if it doesn't work out, she can leave and, by the way, still get the money. but it's just a 1 month trial. She's also kind of internally thinking, like, what happens to her if they find out she lied? Because with this whole program, no one can influence her decision or kidnap her will. And if they try, that violates the terms of the company, and they don't treat it very lightly. So now she's thinking, shit, will lying violate the terms? But then she remembers that, like, whatever, fucking prison is nothing compared to what she is currently running away from. Well, some people belong in prison, but that's besides the point. And maybe being locked up might not
Some
be
people
that
are in
bad.
prison.
Some people are in prison.
Not us.
We made it through the whole year with no prison. It was a little touch and go there, but hey, whatever. At least we didn't steal money. And maybe being locked up might not actually be that bad as long as she stays off the radar. And it is said that she is the first female participant for this planet. And she is about to go down in history for it. Though she's thinking, fuck. Like, I don't want to go down in history. It takes 3 days to complete the necessary paperwork for the program thingy, whatever. And she gets a health exam, criminal record, investigation, general background check. And after all of this, she goes straight to the planet.
Ta-da!
I feel like that's way too many legs. How many
You
legs?
said 12. You said a dozen.
Did I? I thought.
I made a couple legs. Oh, wait, hold on. You gotta make 12 legs, and then we have to have his. Okay. Mate with this, bitch. Doesn't he look cute? I made his mouth too big by accident.
No
I need to make
soul.
I need to make his eyes bigger. Mate with this, bitch. I accidentally touched his cock. Hold on.
Bro, listen. Okay. Oh my god. Anyways, so
Professional artist.
Hirin is accompanying her, monitoring her mate from, like, them mating from their branch office.
That sounds kinky.
Well, okay, he's not going to watch them fuck, but he's, like, monitoring the whole situation from the branch office. The trip spans more sectors than she can even count and lasts about a week, which is very challenging for her because she did not bring enough sleeping pills. She has a lot of trouble sleeping because she gets a lot of nightmares. So when they arrive on the
When
planet,
you saw that picture, wouldn't you?
this was prior to that, though.
Well, this was after she saw the picture, but she had the nightmares before that, yes. But
Yeah. It's sunny and hot, and she kind of suspects that her sleep deprivation is catching up with her because she sees 2 golden stars. But by the way, there are 2 suns. There are 2 suns on this planet. The climate on the planet is actually pretty ideal. It's never too cold, never too hot, but the world is 90% water and 6% land. Does this mean that it is 4% everything else? Because I was like, I don't know what the other 4% is.
4% this. Oh, I touched his dick again by accident. Yeah, 4% this.
Okay. Her mate's name is Nem. He owns an underwater farm with his brothers. He lives in a house made of coral and shells, and honestly, they're really fucking compatible, but she does not care what he does or who he is. The only thing she cares about is staying hidden for 1 month. And honestly, the Dressel would never think that she would be on this planet, which, duh. When Nem arrives, he is huge. Like, not regular human kind of huge. He's probably like over 8 feet tall. She's not even at his chest, but she's not even sure he has a chest. His face is the most, like, grotesque mashup she has ever seen. And I feel like she was being really harsh on this poor man.
So
I get it, he's probably ugly, but his body, though, is even worse. It is an ink black torso, including the shoulders, chest, and stomach. But everything from his waist down is tentacles. He doesn't even have hands. And she crumbles to the floor, and she just thinks, holy shit, I've just been matched with a tentacle monster. And realistically, she brought this on herself. Huron is really concerned and asking if she's okay. Is it the weather? Are you having second thoughts? And he is hoping that maybe also Nem is feeling nervous because Nem's not literally saying anything. But Huron tells him to just take Tessa home for a little while to rest. And before he can even finish the rest of his sentence, Nem takes his several long tentacles and picks her up. And he just kind of like cuddles her and says they're going home. They get into a shuttle. And Nem slides into the pilot seat and puts her into his lap. And she knows better than to struggle. So she, which is a wild sentence to think when you're going into this. So she makes peace with her situation. And as they take off, she tries to memorize the route instead of focusing on how it feels to have her ass against all of these tentacles. He ends up carrying her into the house, shows off his land, and says that everything on the land is his. And all that I thought of was the Lion King.
Everything the light touches. So not only was that in my head, so now that's
we're like tentacle planet Lion King.
But now, because those things go in your head, now then stupid other things. So all day I've been going in my head, Pinja again.
Well, yeah. She reiterates to him that she is under the Federation's protection and he can't make her do anything. And he's like, I won't. And honestly, with how she was being, he was so very like understanding and considerate of her saying these things. And I understand her trust issues, but she was like, you can't touch me. You can't do this. You can't do anything I without my permission. He goes, I know. He asks her if she would like to have some lunch, and she says, no, I kind of just want to nap. And to just call her Tessa, because he calls her my mate all the time. It was, honestly, he was really sweet, and she was kind of a bitch. Like, this man deserved, well, this tentacle monster deserved a better mate than Tessa. But he just keeps calling her my mate, so she says, call me Tessa, and he just calls her my Tessa. Now, this man also outfitted an entire room for her. And while, yes, it was very pink and frilly and lacy, but he said that he searched up good earth human bed for females. And while Tessa thinks it looks like a little girl's bed, it is his house. So she swallows her complaints. Bitch, you're getting a bed. He took the time to research everything for you.
You could be on the floor.
Right? Girl, you could be in jail
Crystal
or dead.
Put you on the floor.
I'm like, bitch, go the fuck away. But her bed does fit her surprisingly well, and she decides she's going to take a nap. Nem doesn't ask any questions, and she grabs her data pod pack thing out of her pocket. She didn't bring any luggage because she just wanted to be able to run at any point she needed to, and luggage will just slow her down. So the data pad is the only personal item that she has. She decides she's going to check the news because she does it every day, so she doesn't miss out on any information that she needs, and she eventually falls asleep. She does have a very bad nightmare, and it's just like the tap, tap, tap noise and somebody calling her little butterfly. And it's like, it's a nightmare she has all the time, and she eventually jerks herself awake. She reminds herself of where she actually is. She's used to being startled awake by the nightmare. It's literally just become her new norm. She doesn't even get enough sleep anymore because of the nightmare. She pulls all-nighters, even though she just wants to rest. Imagine, like, fucking having that. Like, you cannot sleep because you're just consistently having nightmares. I would want to actually probably die. I need my sleep. Like, a lot. She looks out the window and the suns are setting, so it's been hours. She normally doesn't nap this long, but the past few days have been really, really draining for her. She also feels really guilty about a lot of things. And she's also very paranoid because she's had one of the Dressels hunting her down. And Dressels? Was that right? Yeah, whatever. The fucker, the little spider fucker.
Trestles, yeah.
She goes to get off her bed, but Nem is actually laying in the bed with her. And she's just so curious about him because while he's sleeping, I mean, he can't do anything. And his skin just looks like jelly. And it doesn't have the
He's
same.
laying on the floor
Oh,
next to the
I
bed.
thought
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, who
He's
cares?
just like curled up in this like little circle next to the floor like a cat.
So she's curious. And his skin looks like jelly, but it doesn't have the same texture as humans. And before she knows it, she's just like touching him and rubbing his skin. And she gets a slick feel. And it's odd because she didn't think he was the slick before. And she decides, like, if he's not waking up anytime soon, she doesn't mind touching him little longer. Excuse you, girl. You didn't want him to touch you, but okay, it's okay for you to touch him. Consent goes both ways, bitch. And he hadn't given you consent yet. It's kind of like petting a giant pup, like that you might be frightened of when they're awake, but when they're asleep, they're just so cute and harmless. Finally, though, Nem does crack his eye open and says, "My Tessa," and tells her that her claws are soft. And she goes, "They're hands." um,
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah. He says, though, but her hands were so soft. She finally asks him if he minds if she touches him. And he says, "No, we're mates. You can touch me anywhere you want at any time." She runs her hand down a tentacle arm that's sticking out like a rod. And like she really wants to hold it. But even with the help of her other hand, she can't grab its girth. It's really long and thick and super hard and kind of feels like a rock. But then she notices that his face is starting to turn blue. And so she's getting a little concerned and she apologized and she's thinking, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that." And he goes, "It's not your fault. I need to go use the bathroom." And then he leaves. And you would think context would tell you what it was, but no, she's stupid. But when he leaves, he just thinks that his mate is so lovely. He knew that he was a less than desirable bachelor, but he was just a simple male and he wants to have a lovely home and a family to return to every day after work. He rearranged the room next to his so that it would fit a human because when he learned that he was going to get a human as a mate, he did everything he possibly could. And when he first saw her, oh my God, was she beautiful and exotic? And his thoughts just keep drifting to her while he starts cooking because, he goes and cooks for her. And, previously, like when he was thinking about the night before, and he didn't know, like, he ended up going in to check on her and this stuff and sat next to her. And then he didn't know when he dozed off and then all that shit happened. But like when he had dreamed of her, the two of them were swimming in the sea and enjoying the sunshine. And then he woke up with a boner. And yes, he says a boner. And then she touched him. So
I want to know how old he is.
he's still a virgin at this point.
I'm aware.
But I am also curious because I don't think we know the age of any of them.
I feel like he was very young.
Yeah. Well, you got to think too. So they're on this planet. They don't have women on this planet.
Okay,
so he doesn't know these things.
I
bet you they weren't. I bet you they weren't taught anything about anything.
He just
so
felt
he's very naive,
immature.
Well, of course he is. Well, whatever. In case you didn't catch the context, she was touching his dick. Like, that's what that was. It wasn't a tentacle, it was his dick. A very thin I just can't. If her fingers didn't touch, that is
Because every time we touch,
that's concerning.
I mean,
a baby comes out of that.
while that's looking at you.
Anyways, sweet baby Jesus. He's also thinking, like, did she enjoy touching me? And then he paused, thinking he didn't know what to do next because, like, how would he mate with her? He's never mated before, and he didn't think that he had ever seen anything like a guide of how to mate with a human. And obviously, he's never seen
Where
her naked, so like he can't even really see.
he hasn't seen a hole yet. He
He
don't know
has
where to
no
put
idea
it.
where to put his dick in, and it makes him deflate a little bit, especially when he remembers that Tessa can leave after the 1 month trial, and the choice is hers. But he doesn't want to lose her, and it makes his blood run cold thinking about it. You know, his blue blood. Sorry. Are you gonna make him blue too? He looks like he's dying. Good
Don't
God.
forget the black torso. Hold on.
I just. He's like a giant bruise. But then he cooks her dinner because he's been practicing Earth cuisine and he's actually a really decent cook. So this man not only researched the Earth things that a woman should
He
have,
tried his best.
also his food. He
He
deserves.
was really excited
He
to
truly was.
have
And this bitch is.
a woman join
Yeah.
them on their planet because
And
there
he
are no
knows.
women, and he got one. He got one. One was picked that said it was perfectly matched to him.
Yeah. After the
And
food.
it's Tessa.
And it's Tessa.
What the fuck kind of name is Tessa?
A bitch name.
He
After
put in more effort than a human male.
Yeah. Well, bars in hell. So Tessa takes a shower and she's super surprised to see that the showers there use real water, both hot and cold.
He's trying to,
And
get to the bar.
I have to say, I understand that there is a big disconnect with the way that things are now than when they were before on this fucking planet. But Tessa was so judgy to say, oh my God, they use real water on a planet that's 90% water.
Yes, but the Tesla was all like used to going to all these hostels that had the just like where it would just cleanse your body with the air and stuff. So she was like excited that, oh, there's nothing better than some real water because the aliens and shit don't always use that.
I get it, but at the same time, she was judging nonstop. Like she was like, I don't want to do this. This man is ugly. He's
She was also just miserable as a human.
I know, but you don't need to take that out on a person who's trying their fucking best.
But she also was trying to like distance herself.
I'm aware.
Put up
Well,
walls. I'm not saying she was right. I'm just saying like
yeah,
I
I know.
understand.
She also sees that Nem bought her a ton of clothes, like modern women's clothes. So again, he went all fucking out for this woman and she sucks. And toiletries. So like popular like face stuff and hair stuff. Like he bought all of these things for her. And now she's feeling a little bit of shame because, which she should, because some other, the shame bell, some other woman might have loved this. She never meant to be anybody's mate. She ends up stepping through an open door in the room next to hers, and it is Nem's room, and he is, sitting at a pool in the center of his room, filling it. And she goes, oh, how cool you're filling a pool. He goes, it's my bed. It's a water bed. And she thought it was like a plunge pool for him, which is actually kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. He asks if she wants to, lie down with him on his water bed mattress. By the way, I've laid in a water bed. Miserable experience. Terrible idea. And they end up cuddling together, and she just ends up asking if she can sleep there. And she's even shocked that she says this out loud. And he says there's no need to ask. She is his mate, so she can sleep there all she wants. And he ends up cuddling her. And for the first time in 3 months, she doesn't have a nightmare, which is fantastic.
Doesn't have a fucking nightmare.
Ariel is a fucking nightmare.
I am. Thank you.
She's by herself. Nem is making her breakfast. She asks if there's anything that she can do there because she wants to be able to help. And he tells her that, I mean, she can take over the cleaning if she wants, and asks if she wants to take a stroll with him later because he wants to show her around. He wants to show her the land. And she says yes. Honestly, she says yes because it would help her get familiar with the terrain in case she needs to piece the fuck out.
Escape.
Yeah. There is a beautiful coastline and beach, and the water is just so beautiful. And in the distance, she sees these little islands, and she asks what they are. And Nem says that they are eco simulators for lichen farming. Lichen is a marine plant that is edible without processing, so it's more nutritious and easier to corrupt than seaweed. He lets her know that his brothers and him each have a home on this farm, and they all share the land and some of the sea. Not obviously the whole sea, but, you know, parts of it. He's also just so complimentary to her, and he calls her beautiful all the time and, like, pretty. And I know the bar is in hell where that's so sweet, but here we are. And sometimes she gets a little wary of it and thinks he researched pickup lines, and he has no idea, by the way, what the fuck that means. He goes, what? But really and truly, he's just being nice. They end up holding hands, and it's really cute. And she does really like it. She can feel his, but not the long piece. Listen.
She holds this hand over here.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and sometimes you have to be a little blind. Ask me and my previous dating history.
There you go.
Oh my God. She can feel his heartbeat. He has 3 hearts, by the way. And she wonders if they always work at the same time. And she does a little bit more fingering to find out. And then his breath she fingers his tentacles, trying to see about his heartbeat thing. And then his breath starts coming in ragged because this woman keeps touching his cock, but she doesn't know that it's his cock. But of course, he never gets upset. I mean, he wouldn't because she's touching him. But they start walking near a cliff, and she sees something out of the corner of her eyes. And it's like a shadowy claw thing.
Throw her over the cliff.
And then she hears a tap, tap, tap. And then she screams. Nem is very concerned, understandably. And she says that she thought she saw something that looked like a claw, and it frightened her. And he explains that everything, you know, is fine around them, and the sound she's hearing is just the waves crashing into the cliff. And he goes, if you just wait a second, you can hear it. And sure enough, that's what the fuck it is. And she apologizes for startling him, but he's upset because he wants to know who it is that she fears and who wants to hurt her, because obviously this is not how normal people react. And then he gets a thought through his head: kill them. Which, okay. And then pain shoots through him, and it's the inhibitor trying to inhibit his thoughts. And she starts freaking the fuck out because he's like in immense fucking pain. And she goes to get his brothers, and they all come, and they bring him back to his house. And his 3 brothers are trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong. They do this like cool little like mind link thing. They like, oh, do we want to link? And then they just like talk through their minds.
Because
and
they're touching each other's
it's so cool though. Mind link up. It's like Captain Planet. Sailor Scouts. I thought the mind link thing was really cool. And he explains that he had anger, which is one of the 4 great vices. So basically, the great vices are anger, envy, hatred, and greed. Anyone born before the Great Defeat, as well as after, like, the Federation, they have these vices. So the Federation inserted inhibitors to control those vices because everything went to shit when they gave into them in the beginning. And there are little tricks that they have learned through the years to calm themselves down so they don't, you know, get mind inhibited. It's like basically like a fucking electric shock for your brain. It's insane. But He was just so taken aback with the information and his mate and everything that he just didn't even think about it, and he was careless. So he's like, it's not going to fucking happen again because he has a mate to protect. He cannot afford to go stupid again. And all the brothers and stuff, they're all going back and forth, and he finally fucking kicks his brothers out. And he's laying there, and he realizes that he misses Tessa. And I think that I actually missed something as I was reading because I don't know why she was headed to the agency.
Because he was like basically writhing in the
Okay.
sand and immobile and looking like he was unconscious and dying. And so she doesn't know anyone. And she was just trying to get help.
Okay.
That's the
Cool.
only people she knew. She's like, I gotta go get help.
Well, the dumb bitch doesn't know the way to the agency because
Can't even go get help.
no, because and he's even thinking he's like, oh my god, does she even know where to go? Because like he took her by shuttle and she's walking by foot. What if she gets lost? That can be so fucking dangerous. So he hurries out of the house to go locate her. Tessa very much overestimated herself, thinking that she had memorized this route, especially since the ride from the agency was super short. She just didn't think it would take that long. And she realizes that she got lost, so she starts to make her way back to the beach and she sees that Nem is there. He is all better now, and she still doesn't know like what happened, and she's worried that it will happen again. But when night falls, she sleeps in his bed, and she explains that she's only sleeping there because of her nightmares. And she doesn't really want to go into detail about what her nightmares are, but they don't happen while she's sleeping in his bed. And she doesn't know what to think of that. Nem is definitely not what she thought he would be. And it's so weird to think that they, as a species, are so sweet. Because, I mean, realistically, they were kind of like told of how like mean and vicious these people all were. She's thinking like, fuck, dude, I can't develop feelings for this man because that is the last thing that she wants. She is on the run. She didn't go there for funny business. She didn't even think that they would mate or anything. And she finally asks him what happened on the beach. And he explains about the inhibitor. And she had no idea. She thought it was something like a lot milder. But basically, for the record, sometimes the pain can get so severe that they die. But most of the time, they don't. What a fucking wild set. I was like, oh, but most of the time you don't, but sometimes you can die. What the fuck? Government
The
control.
inhibitor thing was,
Insane?
yeah, and I don't feel like it was okay. I'll wait.
Delve deeper into.
I'll wait to step on my soapbox.
He says, listen, after the war, they wanted to prevent the same big tragedy from happening. So this is what ended up happening. She asked him what negative emotion he was feeling at the time. And he said anger. And she was so concerned that she did something wrong. And he goes, no. Like, I was angry that there was a person who wanted to harm you because you were terrified. Like, I'm not fucking blind. And he just wants to keep her safe. And this.
Not with these eyes.
And now, this protective instinct of his sends a little tickle into her belly.
Girl.
And now she wants to touch his dick. She goes, "Ooh, hello, nice to see you. I want to pet it." Girl, what? And he even is like, "You want to do what now?" And she goes, "I want to pet it." And he goes, "Girl, I don't know how to explain this to you." And before he can tell her that it's his cock, the fucking door slams open and his brothers are coming in there. And they like greet him. And fucking, one of his brothers is like, "Why is your cock just out like that?" And Nem is like, "Oh my fucking god." And his cock does shrink the fuck back down. Now, I love his brothers. And he is a little taken aback because now she's met them. And he goes, "Oh, you met them?" And she goes, "Yeah, I met them fucking yesterday. They're really, really nice." And fucking Soul is like, "Hey, yo, so like, I heard that you guys created like a greeting, a handshake." And Nem's like, he's very touch starved. He's very touch starved. So if you touch him, he's never gonna let you go.
That was
And
also concerning. This like So many
There,
concerning things.
I love the relationship that all the brothers have. I mean, you got to understand, there are no women
Yep.
on this fucking planet. So I get it. She learns that his parents are dead because his father was executed for war crimes and his mom was pregnant at the time, but she died. So she didn't get to see them with their hatch. He just like trauma dumped on her. And
Not
they
really.
just
He was basically like, factual.
they're dead. Bye.
Factual.
And then I mean, they have to go to work and everything like this. And one of the brothers is like, I think it's Tar. He goes, I wish you a very productive mateship with my brother. And they start talking about children. And now she's like, what? And we
What
learn
do you think you're there for, bitch?
that's my thing, is you know what you signed up for. Granted, yes, it is a 1 month trial, but at the same time, you cannot be surprised that the whole point of this and a mating agency is to mate
It's
with
like
a person.
us signing up for Apple Music to do on FaceTime, but knowing that we're not going to do anything. But then if Apple Music was like, but no, I customized all this stuff just for you. Like I made this. We're going to be like the best friends ever. And we're like, oh, sorry, we already have Spotify. Bye.
Right? Bye. Yeah. So, but she's like really taken aback because they're like, yeah, you have to carry his eggs. I also would be concerned as to how the fuck to carry this eggs. I get nope, we're not going to go into it. There are, yeah. But they're like, well, he can't really do that because he hasn't sensed her yet. What is sensing? Well, I actually feel like it is pretty much really similar to scenting. That's all I got. I was like, oh, except he uses his
He
little
like moved
tentacles.
his tentacles along her skin and could
Like, see what.
sense her feelings and her smells and her.
Yeah, that one. Exactly. And then she goes, oh, well, I mean, we have something kind of similar. It's called kissing. Girl, not the same. But she tells him, like, I'll exchange. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So they're going to kiss, and then he's going to sense her. And he learns quickly how to kiss, like, very quickly. And then it comes time to the sensing thing, and she asks if
Okay,
it's
I
going
want to know how, because I recognize that my drawing is not great, but I want to reiterate that his mouth basically is just a hole with like a couple teeth sticking out of it. It's literally, there's no lips or nothing. That's tiny. Whoa.
Dude, they're dick sucking lips at that point.
Kiss me.
All that reminds
she
me of
talked
is
about how good he
moisturize
was.
me. Listen, I don't know. Maybe he's got like a tentacle tongue and it's just.
God damn.
Anyways, she asks if it's gonna hurt with the sensing thing, and he goes, "Oh no, you'll just feel really light suck."
Probably be better than the kissing.
Well, she really loved the kissing. Are you kidding me? She fucking was into that. I stuck my finger in sauce. That was gross.
That's probably what the kissing felt like.
Ew, that's disgusting. It's so gross.
Like a little black hole.
He does the sensing, and honestly, like, she gets like a little turned on by this. He also gets really turned on by this, and fucking, as he says, shoots a big load in the middle of the sensing. So he comes all over her. And she's not mad at all about it. She's just like, aw. Like, I think she finds it kind of cute, which is wild. But then he also,
Like,
it's
like
not
pity
cute.
cute. It was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, excuse me, bitch.
But like,
But without the bitch, because he wouldn't think of her like that.
yeah. And,
If he did, the inhibitor would probably slap him.
but then he like gets turned on again because he can feel her feelings because he accidentally rubs up against her and she starts moaning. And that turns her on. And so then it turns him on. And then he comes again. And he apologizes for getting her fabric dirty, but also coming too fast. And she just goes, "You're so cute." Excuse me. He actually is a little offended and he says, "I am not cute. I am so much bigger than you. And she goes, well, size doesn't have to do with it. You're just so cute. Oh, I'm like, girl, at the beginning of this book, you said he was ugly as fuck. But then they cuddle afterwards. And Tessa does feel very guilty because he's so nice and he's so sweet.
You're so cute.
It looks like he's about to stab her in the chest with his dick, like impale her. She feels guilty because she's technically his mate, but she's only there by fraud. And like Nem doesn't even know about this. And because she never ever wanted to be a mail order bride, so then why did you sign up for it? I understand trying to get out.
It
still makes me mad.
That planet, because it's so highly regulated, it's very difficult to get on or off the planet. So this was literally like one of the only ways that she could get on. And that's like we said, this is the only bad bitch that's the Trestles are scared of.
Yeah. It's still stupid. But, as soon as her trial period is over, she's going to leave and she's never going to see him again. And, he's never going to know why. Huh?
No free trials for you.
No. And he's not going to know why she chose to leave. And she can't even tell him. She could. You could actually tell him.
She could have been upfront this entire time.
And that's the thing. All of this could have been saved by her just being an honest person instead of being a bitch. So then they take a bath together, which was great. Afterwards, she scrolls through her little tablet thingy and she gets a message from Hiran. So they exchange messages. They leave out what happened the other day. And she didn't think it'd be wise to trouble this man over the matter. I'm pretty sure that he should also know this, considering you're using his agency for your whole situation. But he's got to go off-world for a little bit and he'll be leaving. But he says that he'll be back before her trial is over and everything like this. And if
things
she
are going
doesn't
so well, it's okay.
Right, exactly. And like if she doesn't want to stay, no one can force you, blah, blah, blah. He just kind of reminds her of all the rules. So then later on that night, like after dinner and everything, she decides, because she's going to start setting boundaries, she's going to end up sleeping in her room instead of sharing a room with Nem. And Nem, very much confused, which understandably he is confused because
he came all over her.
He came all over her, and she's been sleeping in his room.
You were just covered in my cum, and now you can't be in the same room as me?
Right? Damn, what happened? Did my cum make you leave?
Did I do it wrong?
Right? He probably would think that, though, the poor boy. She does not sleep well that night. I wonder why. She has the fucking nightmares again. And so the next day, she just chooses to spend the day alone, which, girl, you have a whole month. Just enjoy. Why can't you just, whatever. She hates lying, but she thinks that she really doesn't have any choice at all. And she looks down at her shoes and she thinks about something that she hasn't done in a while, which is she used to dance. And the reason she doesn't dance anymore is all because of her past. So she just sits out there and she just dances. And it feels really good. She does kind of get like a flashback of everything. And so she stumbles a little bit, but then like she kind of pushes herself through it and she ends up dancing. And
because Nem is watching her.
Well, I don't think she realized that Nem was watching her at first. And then, because afterwards she realizes that Nem is watching her.
I thought he helped her with the flashbacks, him watching. But I don't know.
No.
Who knows?
Well, because she just thinks she has no audience. And then when she's done, she sees Nem. And she was like thinking to herself, oh my God, did he watch the entire thing? And asks him why he even went out there. And he was like trying to do trash, but he thinks she dances so beautifully. And he calls her his star. Like, this man loves this woman for the very brief period of time that they have known each other, but they are mates. Like, I get it. And he asks her about the dance that she performed. And he wants her to teach him. And the funniest thing ever is he tries and she's laughing hysterically and she goes, that is not how I did it. And he's like, no. And she goes, you don't know how to dance. So he wants her to teach him because if she doesn't, he'll go around doing the exact same dance and then tell everyone that he learned it from Tessa. She goes, "That's evil." And he goes, "Well, I am a villain's descendant," which was actually a really fucking funny line. But a week starts going by and Nem has to go back to work. So when she first came, he had like the time off to kind of be with his mate
Yeah,
and
he
everything.
took like a couple weeks off of work to.
Yeah. And I mean, she's still not sleeping with him, which really sucks. Like, she's living in there. But, you know, there's still the possibility that in 3 weeks, she could actually leave. And the thought of this really makes him sad, which understandably sad. But whatever, he has to go back to work. So he heads off to go gather all the Lycon and cutting the roots off, you know, doing all his actual job with him and his brothers. And again, they do their little mind meldy thing. They talk about work and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. He is not concerned about anything that they're talking about. He just keeps thinking about him and Tessa and like potentially their incompatibility and how Tessa's really small for him. And like maybe he will crush her with his weight if he's not careful. And like also, he still doesn't know. Huh?
I will crush you like bug.
Oh my, crush you like bug. But he also doesn't know where his eggs go. Oh my god, maybe in her mouth. Oh my god,
He's
but
gotta do some research.
my sperm will look really good on those pink plump lips, but definitely not his eggs. So, two separate things. And because June kind of was like a dick about it and he was like thinking that like they can't mate actually because, you know, she's a human. So, you know what this man does? He researches human female anatomy. His search history is probably way worse than mine, I feel.
Yes and no.
And turns out his brother, wrong. Human females
Wrong.
are used to wrong. Human females are used to mating with males of their own species who are similar to them in size, but they can also mate with any other creature, including those twice their size. They're very accommodating. So this is exciting for him. He's done so much research on his mate and her biology, but he still hasn't talked to her about it. Like, does she even want to mate with him? And he's just imagining her carrying around his children in her belly, his eggs. He just calls them his eggs. And Tessa, fucking, they're sitting down while he's doing all this. And Tessa notices he's silent. And she just asks him, what's the matter? He thinks nothing, just wondering how I can get you pregnant. But instead, he actually said it out loud. And he's like, I am so sorry. And she goes, why would you want to get me pregnant? Bitch, isn't that why we're here?
She's not the brightest.
Even he says, he's like, isn't it common for someone to impregnate one's mate? And she's like, listen, like we're different sizes. A pregnancy could probably kill me. Like it could be like where the alien burst from the human's chest. Right, exactly. And he's so funny when he's describing this. He goes, look, I know what it looks like, but it's safe for females to carry our eggs and deliver them. I just have to enter your womb gently so you don't get hurt. And she goes, my what? And he goes, your womb. I have to put my cock inside you, then I have to pleasure you with my cock, and then I have to penetrate you thoroughly. But taking the full length is going to be really difficult. So first few times we just get you ready for my size. But, you know, when the day comes when you can take me all the way, I'm going to get you pregnant by knocking your womb open gently and laying my eggs in there.
Die.
Sir, knocking down your womb. And she's like,
it's me, bitch. I'm here for the womb.
She thinks like, so like not every couple has children, and maybe your mate doesn't want to get pregnant. He is a little disappointed, but he does say that he would respect her decision. Again, he deserves better. Justice for Nem at this point. He may be simple-minded sometimes, but he deserves better.
What's that trope? He's a
He's like the hot
And
frosty
they're
dude.
yeah, that's what the trope I was talking about. And they're
It's
dumb
not
as
golden
rocks.
retriever.
No, it's goddamn himbo.
Bo.
Himbo.
Yeah, but usually himbos are hot.
Don't I look cute? Do you not think I'm cute? I'm not cute. I'm hot.
Fuck, girl. Okay. So he tries to be like, look, our genes would be so good. Our children would be perfect and they could dance. And somehow that turns her on. Okay. Because that just makes her want to throw herself at him and start producing babies like right then.
You to want me.
But reality does creep in and she goes, I literally lied my way into this fucking program and my intention is not to mate, which is fraud. And like, if anybody finds out about this, I'm literally going to prison. And she starts to have a panic attack. And Nem is like freaking the fuck out and like, are you good? And she literally can't answer. Then she starts crying because she has met the sweetest guy on the planet, universe, not planet, and she can't fall for him. And she has to leave in 3 weeks. Nem is freaking the fuck out because what did he say? Like, what was wrong? Because Tessa ran the fuck out. He's only ever seen humans cry when they're sad. So he's thinking, my Tessa is sad. And then thinking,
Well,
what the fuck did he do?
My Tesla's leaking.
My Tesla's leaking. That's so weird. But I feel bad because like he thinks that he did something wrong, and if she had been fucking open and honest from the beginning, he wouldn't think, whatever, because now he's thinking like, shit, when I was talking about children, did that set it off? So he's still like freaking out. They have like this little song that they sing to like calm them down so that they don't, get electroshocked to shit. So he heads to his brother's house because Tessa was crying and all this other stuff. So he heads to Tessa's house. And his brother's a little bit surprised that he's there. And he goes, what you doing here? And he goes, well, he needs to talk. His brother offers him like a drink and he goes, no. And I would be like, yes, because please. So
No.
yeah. Honestly, none of his brothers are good with women. So like none of this is useful, but it does help him kind of calm down a little bit, and he ends up leaving. And he ends up into the woodland that's in the back of the family property. They don't go there that often. He used to go a lot as a child, but he just doesn't anymore. He's out there and he is just wishing that Tessa was there with him. Could only see it.
Dude, I thought this was gonna go somewhere and it went nowhere.
It literally went 0 places. It kind of did because he found a flower while
But
he was out there.
even that
and
went
picked it.
nowhere.
I know. And well, he gave
I
it to her
thought
as a pretty cute little, like a nice thing.
I
Not
thought it
that
was gonna be more.
yeah, well,
I want more.
she wasn't disappointed when he was home, but like she was a little bit. And he kind of calls her out for she's not actually happy because she's smiling, but she's not actually happy. And she admits like, oh, well, the gift you gave me, it was really nice and all this other stuff. And he's really trying to cheer her up. And all she can think of is, aw, my tentacle monster wants to please me. Yeah, he does, bitch. Yeah, he does. Maybe.
The whole fucking time.
He asks her if she wants to go with him to help and receive the clients because it could potentially be fun for her. And so for the next few hours, he walks her through different biology, culture, all this other stuff. And all she can think about, too, is as he is doing stuff in the kitchen, all his tentacles are growing all over the place and they stretch really far. And she keeps thinking of what it would feel like to have all those tentacles on her all at once and the holes that they could feel. And then she realized, oh my God, I did not think that I was into tentacle porn, which I guess now is the time to realize it. They greet the new clients and everything, and it's this guy Ekton and his wife Ewan and their daughter Mila. And they kind of introduce each other, and Nem introduces her as his mate. And up until this moment, she hadn't really seen herself as Nem's mate. She knows that that's what she is, but like it had never been publicly acknowledged.
Because even though they literally took her DNA at the place and ran her DNA through the system to find her a mate match, she thinks because she simply gave them a different age and didn't have the
1 year
right
older, by the way.
intentions, right, that and didn't have the right intentions, that the mate match must not be true and it must
Still,
not be accurate.
such a
She
dumb.
gave her fucking DNA. They matched her DNA to his DNA and said match. And she goes, "Oh, but my intentions weren't pure, so we're obviously not a match."
It's not how
You
it works.
fucking dumb idiot bitch.
Anyway, so these clients, by the way, are of a species where they have to fuck. And the child knows because they're like, oh, well, your mom. And the girl's like, yeah, they went to go. They're off fucking. Like, which is the funniest shit. And this child has her own, like, little hollow channel. Tessa and this kid kind of bond a little bit because Mello wants to
Dancing.
dance and all this other
The
stuff.
same style that
Yeah.
Tesla
And
does.
so she offers to like teach her how to do it, and then she ends up dancing with Nem, and it is in
They're both
the
beginners.
hollow, and oh no, it's so cute, and he's got some longing in his eyeballs because, well, his eye sockets. I don't know if they're eyeballs. But after,
The dark holes.
yeah,
Black holes.
the dark holes. So after the clients leave and everything, it looks like he's longing to have children. And like, she wants the same thing, but she can't have it with him because of all her stupid shit. So what does she decide to do? Does she decide to tell him the truth? No. What does she do instead? Decides to put more distance between the two of them. She feels really bad about it, but she thinks that this is for the best because once this is over, he's going to have to find a new mate anyways, which is shocking because they were mated because of DNA. So, whatever. And I mean, and I'm kind of can sense the distance too because they're going into the third week of the program and Tar was going into town and she wanted to kind of go with him, but he ended up not wanting to go because he didn't want to bother her. And she's like, well, you're not going to bother me, but he doesn't even argue anymore. So she does go to town with Tar, and Tar kind of talks about how, like, he was a little jealous originally of Nem because he's the oldest and they had all went into the mating program and Nem didn't even originally want to go into this mating program. Technically none of the brothers wanted to. So as the oldest, he assumed that he would get a mate first, but Nem did. So he was originally
He's really bitter about it
jealous.
too because he
Yeah.
feels like they're just wasting his money.
Yeah. And now this makes her feel even more guilty. And she starts crying. And fucking Tar's like, do you need a minute? Before we get out. Which is great. She sucks it up and gets out anyways. And whatever. Who cares? But they talk about the holotape and how now everyone has seen it. And it's viral. And guess what? This isn't good for her because of how many people have seen it. She's like, oh shit, there's a billion views on this thing. That means the man could have watched it too. And now she's in trouble and she needs to go home. And Nem can sense that something is wrong with her because his brother literally texts him and says, yo, something's wrong with Tessa. I'm sending her home early. And of course, now he's panicking and he needs her to tell him what the fuck is going on. But she's like packing up all her shit because she's going to leave. And she goes, listen, I need to go. I can take care of myself. Peace the fuck out. And he goes, yeah, but there's danger out in the fucking universe. And she goes, listen, stop. Just stop. Too many people have watched this fucking Hollow and you don't understand. He may have watched it too. And of course, Nem's very fucking confused because this bitch has never fucking explained to him what the fuck is going on and why she is hiding or what the hell is hiding. But she finally decides, fine, I will tell you everything. And she's like shaking as she's telling him this, basically, she usually doesn't use her real name or any information, but she lets him know like she was part of this like dance troupe. She joined it after whatever, and she had a friend named Keaton who was a manager, and they trained, and she got like really popular and actually had fans, and that was so exciting. But something went wrong, and she kept like hearing people following her, which it was this one dude, one of the Dressel
I keep
people.
calling them Trestles because that's all
Yeah.
I care.
So it's one of these people. They're like contract killers, is what they are, but they're spiders. They're spider people. That's all I could think of. And he must have been one of her fans. So he used to like stalk her, and she never knew his name. She said there was one time he had caught her, but she fought and escaped at the last minute. And fucking Nem's like, so he tried to kill you? And she goes, I don't know. If he wanted me dead, he could have done it, but he never left a wound on me. And she just thought he was playing like a cat and mouse game. And she tried to go to the authorities, but they were like, you're kind of in the entertainment world, so like, who cares? Like, deal with it and whatever. But she had one last show, and she told her like group the plan, and they supported her. So Keaton had tripled the security, and the dude killed Keaton, which obviously sent her into a spiral because they were friends. So she ran away and tried to like escape this man. So the only thing that, she could think of apparently was, where's somewhere that he would never follow me to? And it's to this planet. Nem is kind of understanding what the fuck happened. And she's thinking, oh God, maybe he's furious with me. He's not mad about that part. Like, he is such a nice human, but she's still freaking out thinking that, oh my God, like, I disappointed this man. And Nem is just thinking, this motherfucker has been after my mate this entire time. He stalked her and chased her, terrorized her, and threatened her. Like, how could someone harm this poor innocent? And he's starting to get angry. So he sings himself the little song to calm him fucking down. And he decides that this thing needs to be fucking dealt with because nothing is going to hurt his mate. And so he goes to his brothers and lets them know. They're like, all right, fuck it, let's do this. And he's like, yeah, they want fucking Tessa dead. And he's been hunting her for months. So they're like, okay, what's the plan? And he goes, I haven't come up with one yet.
Give me a minute.
But like, let's patrol things. And my favorite thing ever, fucking Soul is so unhinged because June's like, yeah, we'll break the fucking spider legs one by one if he shows up. You gotta chop them off if they're no good. And Soul goes, yeah, chop them all off, toss them into the pan and oil it up so we can chomp on some good fried chopsticks. And all of the brothers look at him and he goes, what? And he goes, I'm sorry. They're like, yeah, we don't do that. He goes, I thought that's where we were going with the
and
legs.
They all backed each other up. They're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
He goes, but I thought that's where we go with the leg things. He goes, which is, honestly, it was so fucking, I laughed. I thought that was really fucking funny. But if this Dressel thought that he was going to get his hands on his Tessa, he was very wrong. But you know what else was wrong? Him. Because Tessa is gone now.
Bye.
So she ends up calling Hirin and explaining what her original intentions and everything are. And Hirin's like, okay, well, like, I'm going to tell you something. But he doesn't get a chance to finish because Nem fucking busts in the place. And
like the Kool-Aid man.
Like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, I'm here. And tells her, like, dude, you weren't there when I got home. I thought the fucking Dressel thing got you. And she goes, so he might not come. I might have overreacted. Like, maybe he never actually saw the hollow and da-da-da-da. And he's like, nope, I'm going to fucking kill this motherfucker if he comes on this land. And she's thinking,
this land is my land. It's not your land. You motherfucker. You ain't getting my mate.
Your legs go in my pan.
For my brother to eat you. But we don't want any.
But we don't do that. Anyways, of course, like, Tessa's thinking, I can't imagine the sweet, sweet man killing anybody, bitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Hirin says, listen, she confessed her deception to me and she's ready to face the consequences. She thinks she's going to jail. And fucking Nem's like, no, you're not gonna fucking take my mate. And like, why would I? And actually, he doesn't say fuck. He says fruck, by the way. The F word is FRUK, which is actually kind of funny. He explains, listen, because she thought he left because he was upset. And he goes, no, I just needed to go talk to my brothers. And she goes, oh, okay, yeah, that literally explains everything. But she's not going to get punished for anything because realistically, she met all the requirements. She passed the test. She has a clean record.
Again,
She
DNA.
doesn't. Yeah, just because she's not completely honest about her motives, it doesn't matter because not every female is in this for love, but they do strive for the thing. So Huron is giving her a pass. He's letting her go after she thought she broke the rules. And he goes, listen, all right, if that's all, cool. Peace out. I'll see you when the trial's over. And then all of a sudden, tentacles latch onto her waist. And he goes, yeah, you're not leaving me. Don't even think about it. And she's like, this is the first time I've ever talked about the Dressel in a long time. And Nem promises her that she is safe there with him. And she knows that her tentacle monster will be there in the morning. So cute, I guess.
Gag me.
Yeah. Tessa still is like stumbling through her feelings because like she doesn't. It's not that she doesn't like him. She really does have really deep feelings for him because this is the first guy she's ever slept with, like literally in an actual bed with. And yeah, sure, his appearance is not exactly attractive by human standards. Can we all see the picture again? Because Ariel lovingly drew. It's beautiful. Love the giant cock. Okay. And like nothing about him is even humanoid. He doesn't even have hands. And that used to intimidate her, but it's not because like if she leaves him, she's never gonna meet another guy like him, and she'll cry to her sleep, cry herself to sleep.
Don't you cry no more.
Right? Yeah. She keeps going back and forth. She thinks that like Nem's gonna get killed, and she can't live with Nem being killed, and Nem's thinking like everything is all like fine and dandy now because like they talked about this. They're good. And she's like, okay, no, you need to stop like buying me things because he's buying her more and more things. And then they decide to go swimming. And it's cute. She tells him that like that she loves them being together like that. They're swimming and cuddling. All of a sudden their cuddling turns to making the fuck out. And, she says some unhinged shit like, that's a nice looking cock you've got there, girl. What? And like even she knows like it's embarrassing, and he just says, oh, I'm so glad that you think so. I'm gonna pleasure you with it. She goes, what? Because then he like uses his cock between her legs and has her stand open wide, but then he just like rubs his cock along her and coating his length with her, as she says, liquid heat. She's like, how the fuck did you learn that? And he goes, I watched a holo on how to mate with a human female. Which at least he did the research, which is more than most men can do because most men can't even find it. Yeah, an octopus, guys, an octopus did better than a man.
Spelled backwards.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, so it feels really good. And she comes and he wants to make love to her. And he's so excited that he made his mate come. He also didn't come. So he didn't even come early, which was he was originally worried about. And I mean, holding it in was really, really hard, but that whatever. So then he decides to put his tentacle deep down her throat because now she's going to blow his tentacle. And like he loves this. He loves hearing the muffled cries.
It's the dirtiest thing he could think of.
It is so fucking funny that is the dirtiest thing that he can think of.
I was so disappointed.
I was as well. Then he like licks her boobies. I don't know why I said it like that. Mostly because like he had learned that that's where they feed babies from, so he wants to taste it. Well, he was a little disappointed that there was no milk in there, which okay, but it's fine. It's fine. But he just, yeah. She tells him to make me hurt so good, my big tentacle monster, which, okay. And then he just starts slamming into her. And he tells her that he loves her and that this is the happiest day of his life and he'll never forget their first time together. And she says, I won't either. And we all know why she won't forget, because what is this bitch gonna do? Well, she's gonna want to try to run, because every time he looks at her too afterwards, like, she just looks like she's grieving, and he doesn't know why she's grieving, and he's thinking like, are my sensors wrong? Like, what the fuck is going on? But whatever.
But she knows what happened to her dance partner, and she kind of cares for this dude, and she doesn't want anything to happen to him.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah. The brothers and him are still like planning on trying to like hunt this motherfucker down to kill him. And the brothers even admit that they saw Tessa weeping on the beach. And his brothers are like, did you upset her? And he goes, no, like, I don't fucking know what the fuck is going on. He confronts her and he says, listen, like, I can feel that you're unhappy. Is something wrong? And she says, no. And he says, listen, there's less than a week before the final decision. You'll be taken to the agency and everything on paper. You can stay or leave, that the choice is yours. And he kind of figures that she's going to leave because she's not happy there. And if she's not happy there, he can only assume that she will be happy or gone, which is so sad. And he asks if she has feelings for him. And she says, listen, more than you think you do, I don't mate with anybody. And he asks if this means she'll stay. And she says, no, it has nothing to do with the two of them. She really is just like traumatized that he's going to die because Keaton died too. And of course, like, this kind of upsets him a little bit, which honestly it would too, because he's like doubting his own sanity at this point, because he's like, who the fuck thinks that we can't defeat these stupid motherfuckers? Like, why wouldn't we be able to defeat them?
You don't think I'm strong enough?
Right?
You doubt your mate?
Right? And he's like, listen, you're too sweet to stand a chance against a real killer. And of course, like, she's asking if he's mocking her for concern. He goes, well, no. But I mean, if you only want to leave because you think that the dude would threaten my life, just like he did, like, Keaton, like, this is laughable. And asked if she had heard about his ancestors'
Do you not
powers.
know who I am?
Right? And he explains, like, yeah, dude, I have the body modification, instant regeneration.
Do you not know who I am?
Right? She's also concerned because of the inhibitor thing. And he goes, yo, we have tricks to, like, avoid that shit. Like, we're good. Like, if we put aside everything else, would you stay and be my mate? Will you grant me the privilege of loving you? And she goes, this has to be the weirdest marriage proposal ever. And he's, like, groping her too, trying to influence her decision. And she says yes, like, of course. So mate agrees to stay with her. And then, I mean, we're almost at the end of the book. Forget it, 88%. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, are we never going to get the conclusion of this thing? We do. Because guess what? All of a sudden, boom, motherfucker, the little dude shows up. And Tessa's freaking out, but he kills him. And he like savagely so murders this thing too.
He like chops him up into all kinds of little pieces.
And she was like, I don't like murder. And then he's sad because he thinks, oh my God, she's gonna leave me because now I'm a murderer. And she goes, no, like, it was self-defense and all this other stuff, so like, it's fine.
Is it though? Is it?
It is. And then we learn that I mean, it's, well, technically
I meant, is it fine? Is it fine by her standard?
No, it's not. But we learn that his brother is actually a lawyer. So
he's like,
we're
definite
good.
Self-defense.
Yeah.
Solid.
And then we get an epilogue, and she is a dance teacher now. And they still haven't had babies.
Through the hollow.
Yeah. Through the hollow. But yes, so they love each other in the end. So, Ariel, where's your soapbox? Let me hand it to you.
So I thought, dumbly, evidently, but I thought that when they brought up this whole inhibitor thing, and then the first time he crashed the ground and then she went to go rescue, I thought the rest of this book was going to be like her grand rescuing his entire race from being enslaved by this inhibitor. Because what the ever loving fuck. That was not what happened. everyone was just okay with this.
Well,
Everyone just was just okay with her just touching his dick in his sleep. I have a lot of concerns.
okay.
I have concerns about her wishy-washiness, and I have concerns about her just being a dumb bitch all around.
Okay.
So she was my least favorite character. Who is your least favorite character?
She was also my least favorite character. I was not like a huge fan of her at all in her like I understand like being the way she was because of trauma and everything, but at the same time like she basically used this man
You
to
know, this would have
escape.
been a much shorter story if the Trestle dude killed her in the beginning.
Oh, well, yeah, duh. We wouldn't have a book. How about your
Uh,
favorite?
I was gonna say, who's your favorite?
I liked Soul for that one unhinged comment about chopping up the legs and cooking them, but then I
Yeah.
actually did
Is he the
enjoy.
same brother that is touch starved?
Yeah, I think so. So I liked him, and I actually did like them. I think that Nem deserved better.
Nem deserved better, but I felt like he was portrayed very, very young, and I didn't like that.
So the way that I looked at it was
And whether
similar.
he was actually young or mentally young and naive, I still didn't like. I felt like it was taking advantage of himself.
Okay, I didn't feel that way, but eh, it's okay.
Cool beans.
Cool, cool. All right, so Amazon gives us a 4.3, Goodreads a 3.9, and Storygraph also a 3.9.
What did you rate it?
I actually had it at like a 3.5. Like overall, I did enjoy it.
I rated it a 3, which I feel is kind of high now that we've talked about it, but that's been my lowest book so far this year. So I think it was just like coming off of like other books. I was like,
I mean, the last book we read, we really liked, so.
just
Right.
no, I mean just and personally, just in general.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
So, a 3. I would survive.
I would be great.
I was very disappointed by the entire concept of this book, which was the tentacle sex. So I'm going to give it a poblano.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have
And
done more with the tentacles.
yeah,
I wanted
and
more.
for me, it was not a one-handed read.
No, it wasn't a one-handed read for me either.
Thanks for watching.
Fucking A.
Spin the wheel to see what we
Oh, yes, I do have to do that, don't I? I have to
are
do my job.
reading next week. Hopefully not me.
Oh my God. Alrighty. You ready?
I am ready. There we go.
I'm gonna kill myself. So for the fans.
February is for Crystal.
So next week we're reading For the Fans by Nyla K. This is in the taboo category. I actually picked this book too because it had been pushed to me a lot on TikTok and it actually sounded very interesting. Kyron Harbour is everything I'm not. Rich, popular, a superstar football player who's awfully broody for someone who has it all. Basically, he's a preppy jock who hates me. Oh, and he's also my stepbrother. That's right. We're stuck together, sharing a school, a house, a bathroom. Honestly, I wouldn't care if he wasn't such an uptight control freak who messes with me just because we're different. I had every intention of avoiding him when we got to college, until abrupt misfortune forces us both into a compromising position. Now the grouchy jerk I was hoping to evade might be the only person who can help me out of it. Avi Vega is everything I despise. A dreamer, a flake, an artist who smokes too much weed and thinks aliens exist. And by some sick cosmic joke, he is now my stepbrother, following me on what should have been my escape plan. It was already a disaster, add a sudden financial disruption to the mix, and let's just say my options are heavily limited. If I want to stay an all-star quarterback on the way to the NFL, I'll need to do something drastic. Unfortunately for me, and my desperate desire for control, the perpetually smiling stoner has a plan. Maybe we can stop hating each other just enough to pull this off, as long as we remember we're only doing it for the fans.
Apparently February is for you.
That's what happens apparently when I take a fucking month off.
I mean, maybe March will be for me.
I doubt it. It's probably going to continue being me, and I'm going to actually
It's
quit.
gonna be me. Then I will have 2 months, and then there'll be no choice but to have me 2 months in a row.
Yep.
Well,
Crystal's going to
join
cry,
us
and it's
next
fine.
week. Well, she'll get over it, and I will cry too, and I'll get over it too. But read with us and let us know if you're crying because we will be. Or don't, and just be surprised next week. Make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. Oh, I thought Grace knocked on my door, but she's just doing stuff with there. Sorry. Anyways, why does it say his name is not hearing? It's like he something.
Heron. I think it's
Hold,
Heron.
please.
Heron.
I
Maybe.
have it. I think I have it corrected like elsewhere. This is a fucking hot mess.
What else is new? Welcome to 2026, where we're still a hot mess.
Heron. Heeren. Got it. Nailed it. Cool.
Did you nail
Heron.
it?
Well.
I didn't ask if you nailed that. I asked if you nailed this.
No. The answer is no.
Glad you nailed something.
Well, you know. The Drails.
Drexel.
No, it's Drelys.
Trellis.
Drellis. Sure, why not like trellis, but with a D?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Like their crime rate has got crime rate? Crime. And she just
My
has-
sign. Keep talking.
okay.
My sign fell down. I forgot.
Cock inside of her. Someone's car alarm's going off. Oh my god! But she also sees. I'm sorry, it's still funny.
Them is men spelled backwards.
She's been holding that in her pocket.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Spin again?
Nope. I'm just gonna suck it up and cry.
Okay. I don't mind spelling again.
Get the fuck out of here. You'll be fine.
Oh fuck.
Oh fuck.